What's up, lore masters? Today we're going to be talking about the Kobayashi Maru. The Kobayashi Maru simulation was, in theory, a test to determine the type of command officer a cadet would be. The scenario involved the cadet being in command of a starship and receiving a distress signal from a civilian ship called, wait for it, the Kobayashi Maru. The ship had been disabled within the Klingon neutral zone and was losing life support. The cadet would have to choose to leave the Kobayashi Maru to its fate, observing several treaties and keeping the peace, or go in and save the Maru and violate those treaties. If the cadet chooses to save the Maru, the Starfleet ship would be intercepted by Klingon warships and ultimately lose a fight. Interestingly, while it's not mentioned in most resources that I looked into, the Kobayashi Maru ship appears to be a trap set by the Klingons, at least in the Prime timeline. When we first encounter the simulation and the captain orders that they save the crew, upon arriving, the ship completely disappears. 3 Klingon ships come out of nowhere and ultimately destroy the Starfleet vessel. It is always presumed that the Kobayashi Maru was actually there, but that's just not what's consistent with what we see on screen. For me, the cadets never really seem to go with another viable option, that is to say, they never launch a probe. When you break down this scenario and take a look at it, a known civilian ship is hit by a mine, right in the one place that Starfleet cannot go. So why not launch a probe, set course, and sit right on the edge of the neutral zone? If the probe can't make it in time, fair enough, you rolls your dice and takes your chances, but it seems weird to me that a probe couldn't make it in time to verify if the ship is actually there. Now, it has been noted by a fan that maybe the game is rigged. If you don't go in the neutral zone, then the Kobayashi Maru is actually there. If you do go in, then it's a trap and it's not, which is possible. If so, I do think it's cool that in Gene's vision, Telltale still exists and was making games with bullshit options that didn't matter anyway. I mean, truly a utopia. And look, I do understand, in both situations, whether you send the probe or you go in yourself, you've violated treaties, but your ship is in less danger with a probe. Interestingly enough, when you look into the future, it's possible that we do observe several different iterations of the Kobayashi Maru. In the Next Generation's episode, Thine Own Self, Deanna Troi is confronted with a situation that some would consider to be a no-win scenario. She is ultimately forced to sacrifice one of her own crew to save the ship. Any other alternative results in the ship being destroyed. It does show the weakness of the test, though, when Deanna passes and is authorized to command the bridge. You know, given the fact that when she takes the helm, she somehow manages to crash it into a planet. We also see a similar situation in the Voyager episode Learning Curve. In this scenario, a Ferengi ship is sending out a distress signal. It's pointed out that the Ferengi have been known to be deceptive. Upon attempting to assist the Ferengi ship, 2 Romulan warbirds decloak and begin firing on the Starfleet vessel. This simulation was, however, most likely put together by Tuvok, who states that the appropriate reaction here is to run. That the option they need to go with is the one that provides the most gain with the least amount of loss. His response makes little sense to me, however, given that he has assisted in rescue attempts multiple times and would even risk Voyager to only save 2 people. We also don't know if this simulation was put together by Tuvok or was something administered by Federation officers at the time. If administrated by other officers, I would say that Tuvok's take on what they should have done is probably not the norm for what Starfleet expects. The Kobayashi Maru definitely had an impact on the psyche of Federation officers, at least those in the 23rd century, as we see even tenured officers quoting it in situations where there is a no-win scenario or it appears to be a hopeless situation. In the alternative timeline, known as the JJ-verse, we see the Kobayashi Maru simulation, and it is designed by Spock, and we also see the ship itself, the actual Kobayashi Maru. Additionally, the simulation has at least 5 Klingon ships, whereas in the Prime timeline it appears to be only 3. The Kobayashi Maru is a really well-known piece of Trek lore, even though it doesn't have the most intricate information and only comes up like twice. But still, something that is beloved. What are your guys' thoughts on the Kobayashi Maru? Does it even have any real value as a test? Let me know in the comments below. Special shout out to Eagle Moss, who sent me a model of the ship Kobayashi Maru. If you like the JJ-verse, it is an absolutely beautiful model and worthy to be in your collection. And as always, guys, remember, ultimately all of our lives are a story in the end. Make yours a good one.